I have this electric mower which has been in use for a few years, and it needs the blades to be sharpened. I got this interesting gadget. I got this free to do a review on it, and it's a little belt sander gadget. So I'm going to try this, see if this is going to be good for sharpening the blades. But first we need to get the blades off. An interesting thing about this is that it's got two motors on here, and they both spin opposite directions. So when you take the blades off, you just have to be aware of the direction that you turn, because one is a right hand, one's a left hand thread. So the first thing we need to do is make sure that there are no batteries in here. That one's empty, and this one, take that one out. So a nice thing about this is that you don't have to worry about gas leaking out or anything like that. So here are the two blades. So let's see if we can get these off. Here's the blades. This has a directional arrow, so that's showing that this spins that way, and this one spins this way. So the way they do this is when this is spinning, it's going to be tightening the bolt. So we don't want to turn this, if this is the one that's spinning this direction, we don't want to turn it that way. Actually want to turn it this way. All right, so this is going to go this way, which is actually the left-hand thread. So let's hope that this is not too tight. And by the way, I just got a piece of scrap wood in here. This fits just fine. I think this is going to do the trick. Let's see. We'll find out. Okay, so, oh yeah, that was easy. So I'm assuming that when we put these back, that I guess we have to be careful which one we put on which side. I don't know if there's some way of, this has a shape. It's like a half moon shape in there. So possibly the other side has something different so that it would not allow you to put the wrong one on the wrong side. We'll take a look at that in a minute. So that came off, and this one should be this one spins that direction. So that means that when it goes that way, this will be tightening. So you need to go the opposite way with this one. So this one is going to have to come off like this, which is the conventional way. So this is the standard. Just make sure you can get that so the wood's not going to slip. Nope. Let's see. There we go. So this is actually not that tight. And let's have a look at this one. So this also has that half moon shape. So if I were to try and put this over here, or that way, oh, that's interesting, because you could flip this over actually, and it would cut the other direction. That's how they do it. Well, we just learned something. But anyway, take a look at these blades. There's a big chunk out there. This is not so sharp. Yeah, so they're in need of attention. Yeah, they're just plain dull chunk out there. So let's see if we can get these sharpened up. I'm here with the little grinder, or the little sander, and it comes with a bunch of discs. The coarsest one I can find it says 120. I don't know, it says 167 there, but that seems to be 120. I don't think there's a more coarse one than that. They all go pretty fine, up to actually to 1,000. So it goes pretty fine. But because these are so damaged, I want to get this down a little bit if I can. I don't know if this little thing is really heavy enough for this job, but let's try. So I took one sanding belt off, and it goes on. There's a spring-loaded, whatever you call this kind of pulley here, and you have to thread this. Let's put this on the right way, shall we? So we put it around here first. It goes over the top of there, and it's going to have to go around that wheel. So pull this spring-loaded pulley over here and get that round there. get that one in place. There's actually nothing to adjust because I'm assuming because it has it fits in a track, so it should be like self-adjusting. Now the thing is, the problem with this is you can't rest this in a position where it's going to be consistent, so I'm going to have to rely on just holding this in position. Maybe I can show. I'm just going to use the top of that and try and keep it in the right position. We'll see how it goes. So the way this operates is, let's see if I can get this in the picture. So it has this transformer, and this has some speeds on. It has some a switch on the side here. So that's how you change the speed. So we'll get this plugged in and take a look. I've got this power supply over here. So this plugs in right here. Keep your fingers away because the switch is right there. Of course, I made sure that wasn't on. So this has actually a forward and a reverse. So whichever way you really, this should be going that way, away from the tool. I think makes sense to me. Just so that the sparks are going over there. And I'm going to try and see what, this is on the lowest speed right now, so I'm going to try and hold this in position. Let's see this. Let's see if I can hold it just, and it's got, see if I can keep that at the correct angle and then just go over it and see if I can straighten this out a little bit. At the end, it's all chewed up. You know, the best thing would be to just get new blades, but we're going to try and sharpen these. Alright, so I'm going to find the angle first. Let's see if I can do that. Right about there. Seemed like a file is easier and more accurate, so that's what I'm doing. So I can get this to just about the right angle and keep it there, and I can see what's happening. So I prefer this way. Not bad. So I got these blades pretty close with about as far as I want to go with these, with the file. And I think they'll do a job. What I want to try and do is use this just to hone the edge a little bit. Perhaps that will make it last a little bit longer. We'll see. So I'm going to put this is unplugged, by the way, and I'm going to get this around here. So it's kind of hard to identify these because the belts have several numbers on, but this looks like it's a 600 grit. I'm going to try to hold this as best I can so that I can just kind of finish these edges. And this time I'm going to turn it toward me. did put kind of a shiny edge on it. I'm going to take the burr off the back, and then I think that might be okay for that one. Time to put these back on. So it looks like this sits on this kind of platform thing here. That's going that way. And this is the backwards thread, left-handed thread. That goes there. So if this will fit over there, this is supposed, but it doesn't seem like it's going down deep enough to engage with, oh, now it does. Okay, there we go. So make sure we get this right. There we go. Okay, I'm going to double check over here now. I'll put this back in here, and this is going to tighten this direction. It shouldn't need a whole lot, just make sure it's snug, because as it spins it's going to tend to hold itself. That's pretty tight. There we go. I get the battery in. See? Let's see if it works.